Hi guys, it's Matthew from Astrological Observation, just calling in with a full moon report. Before I get into the report, just want to remind people that I have a YouTube channel. It's called MC-Astro. If you put MC-Astro into YouTube, type Eclipse or type Sagittarius or Gemini, you will see it. So please get over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell if you want the notifications, give me a comment, give me a like, and as ever, this video will be going up on Astrological Observation as well, my Facebook page. Again, please like the page, please leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyway, that stuff out the way, let's look at the placements of this Sagittarius full moon. We have the Sun at 23 degrees of Gemini, the Moon 23 degrees of Sagittarius, Mercury at 0 degrees of Gemini, Venus at 19 degrees of Taurus. Venus is domicile or at home in Taurus. Uranus at 17 degrees of Taurus. Chiron at 15 degrees of Aries. Mars at 15 degrees of Aries also, so a conjunction between Chiron and Mars. Neptune is at 25 degrees of Pisces. We also have Jupiter, which is important in this chart, at 5 degrees of Aries, Saturn retrograding at 25 degrees of Aquarius, and Pluto retrograde at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Those are the placements. Let's look at the aspects. We have a full moon, so that's Sun opposed Moon. Both the Sun and the Moon, interestingly, are both squaring Neptune, that I'll talk about today. The Moon is sextile Saturn, and the Sun is trine Saturn also, so a very strong Saturn. Jupiter is in a wide conjunction, 10 degrees to Mars, which is applying to a conjunction with Chiron. So those are the chief aspects at this Sagittarius full moon. What can we say about Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius is the centaur. The symbol for Sagittarius is an arrow because the centaur is half man, half horse, shooting an arrow. So it's a mutable fire sign, and the ruler is Jupiter. So remember, Jupiter is in Aries. So what can we say about Jupiter? Well, Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter's the principle of expansion, growth, elevation. It's philosophical. There's optimism associated with Jupiter, exuberance. I guess some of the negative connotations are pride and arrogance. Jupiter was Zeus, the king of the gods in ancient Greece, and in Aries, it's go get it basically for Jupiter. Jupiter, wherever you have Aries in your chart, you have a go get it Jupiter in Aries. Nothing holding it back really, because the ruler Mars is in Aries, so it's very dominant. And I think Jupiter genuinely likes to be in Aries. They're both fire signs. Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius, this Sagittarius full moon, Aries being a fire sign. The other fire sign we have is obviously Leo, and in a chart you'll see the trine created by the three fire signs, so a strong Jupiter. With the moon, both the sun and the moon being squared Neptune, we have to think about, well, what does Neptune represent? Well, Neptune is the spiritual, it's the imagination, it's being enchanted or enchantment, divine consciousness. It also could be described as the oceanic feeling. Dreams are ruled by Neptune. Myths, hypnosis, anything that basically seeks oneness with the cosmic. So that's our Neptune thing. So we're at this Sagittarius full moon, there's this tension with the squares to Neptune. So our dreams aren't falling in alignment with our emotions, with our mind. There's a strain there with Neptune. And I guess dreams can be stressful, dreams can be tense. Things come out in dreams that we wouldn't tell our best friend, we wouldn't tell anyone. And therein lies that tension. Jupiter ruled sign like Sagittarius, especially the moon, one of the things we can say about Jupiter is that it's almost as though Jupiter doesn't have a shadow. It's almost like a second sun. It's so exuberant and wanting to just be that that Neptune, we can't escape the fact that we spend, I don't know, a third of our lives asleep. You know, there's a dark side. There's a side where we go where when we're not awake, which brings in things that sit uneasy. But I mean, remember at this full moon, the moon is creating a nice sextile to Saturn. So Saturn is supporting both the moon by sextile and trine to the sun. I mean, what can we say about Saturn? Saturn, I've spoken about him before. The lord of time, Chronos, the limit, fate is often talked about in relation to Saturn. Calculation, effort and experience, karma, thoroughness, being precise, factual, slow. So there, on one side, the squares to Neptune creating an uneasiness around dreams, imagine, illusion, delusion. Whereas at the other side, we're on the money as far as the facts go. We're good with being precise. We're good at being philosophically sound rather than just all over the place. So those are the main aspects. I mean, I was looking for a quote from a philosopher, actually. I mean, with our Jupiterian full moon, a philosopher I thought would be a good addition to the report. And I looked into Friedrich Nietzsche. He's a philosopher that I've always enjoyed. Nietzsche, it had a Sagittarius moon, funnily enough, so he's quite appropriate here. He would have done quite well in today's world of Twitter and Instagram with these short, precise lines that people put out in a limited amount of characters. He wrote a lot of aphorisms or short, punchy lines. I was looking through a book of his called Beyond Good and Evil, and I was looking through his short aphorisms because I was thinking, well, it'd be nice to include him in this report, given that this is the Sagittarius full moon. So from Nietzsche, I funnily enough stumbled upon this quote where he said, "The sage astronomer, as long as you experience the stars as something above you, you lack the eye of knowledge." So Nietzsche saying that the sage is basically Nietzsche speaking from the sage astrologer's perspective. As long as you experience the stars as something above you, you lack the eye of knowledge. So the stars above and away, yet for an astronomer, for an astrologer, they're actually acting out here. But funnily enough, they're not acting on us. It's almost like they act through us. They act through events rather than compelling events. They sort of give us the themes and the plots, but they don't. They're multivalent, you might say. Richard Tarnas talks about this, uses this word multivalent, so they could come up in many different archetypal ways. So, I mean, the archetype of the centaur is the Sagittarius archetype, the half man, half horse, the centaur with the bow and arrow. In distinct opposition to the Gemini, winged messenger of the gods. The Gemini new moon, if you remember, we had a new moon that was all about communication, about improving our communication, like how we communicate more clearly. But Sagittarius is looking further than just communication, but looking to philosophize, to find deeper meaning, to finding law, to finding religion, to finding philosophy. These are the kinds of preoccupations of a Sagittarius full moon. So the Sagittarius full moon, not completely easy. I mean, if you remember when I looked at the chart, I said that Mars was conjuncting Chiron, which is Chiron, the wounded healer. Mars is cutting. Mars likes to cut. Mars enjoys separation. So don't be surprised at this time if there aren't some triggering events that you experience that maybe leave you uneasy, maybe dreams that come through that disturb you. But like I say, your dreams at this full moon can be put in a line if you look to Saturn, if we look to grounding things and being factual, if you look to being organized, if you look to being on top of things, if you look to being on time. So that's pretty much what I have for you. That's this Sagittarius full moon. Once again, I'd like to always thank everyone who's watching. Thank you for making it through to the end of my little report. And as ever, like, comment, share. Tell me how this moon, what you think of this moon. Have I missed anything? Always happy to hear. And again, MC-Astro is the YouTube channel. Go on there, type in MC-Astro Gemini or Sagittarius, and I'll show up. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. Always appreciate the support from people. And as ever, I'm available for natal chart readings. So if you're looking for a chart, you want to hear about your birth chart, see what it promises. Transits as well. I'm happy to look at transits, and synastry also is something that I'm quite comfortable doing. So if you want to get in contact with me, you can write to me through my Facebook page or via YouTube. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well and that you have a really good Sagittarius full moon on the 14th of June. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.